Hola amigos, we back, and before we start off I just want to say I'm really surprised on how the last video went, the part 1 of this little test day session. I was really surprised. I had a fair few more viewers than what I was expecting. I had a few subscribers come through as well, so thanks everyone for watching that, and like considering it wasn't a racing video, very surprised. If you did like the content and everything, yeah, please make sure you definitely subscribe and share the videos around so others can jump in on the racing videos and whatnot. Yeah, let's keep making sure that I can keep putting up these videos, and yeah, thanks for everyone staying tuned and sticking with the videos and watching them. So unfortunately this is just the second part of this testing day, so this is literally the last session I went out, and like I was only meant to do 14 laps. Like it was only going to be a 14 lap, essentially a finals, a final heat of a racing day, which would have been 14 laps. But I literally didn't want to get off the track. I didn't want to stop. I think I did around 22 laps. I actually almost ran out of fuel, so I did my fuel consumption to go through 14 laps. So I always put a little bit more in than what I need for whatever laps I'm doing. So say if I'm doing 10 laps, I'll put in 14 laps worth of fuel. So obviously you want to be a little bit heavier starting the race, and then when you finish the race you're going to be a little bit lighter and still come in the correct weight without coming underweight. So I almost ran out of fuel. I literally didn't want to get off the track, so I did a full 22 lap practice session, and I was so amazed. So the tyres hit I think 105 or 110 laps on this practice session, on this like go around, the 22 laps, and I did a faster lap in this session than what I did when I got to the track. So it could have just been the track coming to optimal temperature, or the track coming to like its quicker part of the day. But yeah, I literally did 4/10 faster in this session than what I did in the very first session that I was on the track for the day. And I was just surprised. Like the tyres started off with about 50 laps already on them, so you would think 50 laps of tyre, like a 50 lap tyre is going to do a little bit faster than 110 lap, but no, I was pretty surprised. I mean, once again, fuel is lower than what I was expected, so I would have definitely come underweight if I weighed myself like coming in. I would have been probably 500 grams underweight, maybe 800 grams underweight. But yeah, like I was super surprised, and yeah, I know we're pretty happy with the results, considering I had a setup that was completely opposite to what I would on a race day. I wouldn't mind seeing how the setup would do on a race day, but I know if I did this setup, I'd be changing it from what it was at the beginning of the day to what it would be at the end of the day. There'd be too many changes, too many tweaks, too many adjustments to keep on top of what the track's adjusting in itself. So you ideally want your kart set to a standard, and if the track goes off pace, you want to have a minimal adjustment to counter that off pace. And if the track's getting on pace, like it's a bit harder to explain. Like essentially, if the track gets too cold, if the track gets less grip, you want your kart to be set up in the middle of what you think the track's going to go, positive or negative. So if this setup was what the track would be in a negative situation, and then the track goes super positive, then you've got to do a massive change to keep on top of the track's conditions. So it was just a little bit of a theory and test that I wanted to run by and just see how it went, and it went really good. But unfortunately, I've changed my kart back to pretty much where it was originally, and now obviously going to a race, if the track gets too positive, so say it gets too grippy, I at least have to do a minimal change that will be quick and less stress free, I guess, to stay on top of the track change, like track movement, to good or bad. Update on my racing scenario. So I talked a little bit about what I want to do for the rest of this year. Like I wanted to race at Eastern Creek, then Port Macquarie, and then the big race at Manning Valley, the Hamnet Cup. Things have changed around a little bit because I mixed up my clubs. I thought, what's the club's name? It's something district. It's something district club. I thought that was the Eastern Creek club. Turns out it's Lithgow. So I had my date set to go down to Eastern Creek on the 14th of November, when that was actually the Lithgow race meeting, and I can't really get to Lithgow with all the races I'll be doing. It's too much of a long distance travel. I really wanted to get down to Eastern Creek because I wanted to ideally try to get to every track this year, because this was just, I started on Karting New South Wales halfway through this year, so this year was just a blood year to try and get to all the tracks and at least understand the track, get a feel of the corners, the lines, and the kart setup. Obviously I couldn't really do that because of the big COVID hit. So once we got out of lockdown a few weeks ago, racing started to get announced, and unfortunately Eastern Creek is on the 31st of October, and that's my partner's birthday. I can't really as much as she sacrifices for me, I can't really do that one on her. That's a bit too harsh. So I kind of did promise my partner that I wouldn't really do too many karting stuff on her birthday. So unfortunately I won't be able to make the Eastern Creek one. That was a bit unfortunate. But Manning Valley has announced a second race meeting that they'll be able to do. They only had the Hamnet, which was the 4th of December. So with Eastern Creek gone, I was then going to just do Port Macquarie and the Hamnet at Manning Valley. But Manning Valley has just announced that they've got a second race that they are able to start up, which is going to be the 7th of November. So I'm back to 3 races. Unfortunately, there's not much variety. Like, it's Manning Valley, Port Macquarie, Manning Valley. I think there might be an Eastern Creek one after the big race at Manning Valley, but I don't know if I'll be able to get to it. So not as many tracks. Like, I didn't go to as many tracks in the second half of this year as what I wanted to. But you know, it is what it is. I feel like I'm skillful enough to get on top of a track pretty quickly. Like, I think I'm skillful enough to do at least 10-20 laps to understand the track, and then do another 10-20 laps on top of that to understand the lines, and then after that it's just figuring out best passing scenarios, and it's mainly the kart setup. I'm still way behind on setup knowledge, and that's literally where I fall behind, is the kart setup, how to adapt to gear ratio to different tracks, to gear ratio to corners, straights. So that's where I fall, not having the best of knowledge for that, and obviously not having the best of knowledge on the track. But I feel like I can pick up track knowledge fairly quickly. It just comes down to kart setup and passing scenarios and whatnot. But so those are the 3 races I'll be able to do for the rest of this year. Manning Valley on the 7th, Port Macquarie on the 27th. It's going to be a bit difficult because it's a Saturday. I honestly don't know why they want to put a race on Saturday. It's a bit stupid. I mean, like, in my eyes, it's always Saturday's practice, Sunday's race, and that's how it's always been. And then all of a sudden I look up Paul McQuarrie's race dates and they're all on Saturdays. It's like, what? So that one's going to be a bit difficult. I still have to talk to Paul McQuarrie on how I'm going to be able to get my trailer there, if I'm going to get there really late Friday night or if I've got to get there really early Saturday morning. It's, yeah, going to have a bit of talk about that one. But Port Macquarie on the 27th of November, and then we got Manning Valley, which is the 4th of December. Like, that one is a Saturday as well, but that's a special event, so that's the only Saturday race day for Manning Valley. It's just because of how big of an event it is. They got a race on the Saturday and then they do a special event on the Sunday, like they do a barbecue and presentation all on the Sunday. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I think that's everything I need to say, so I'm just going to kind of sit back a little bit and look at these lines. Like, I mean, it was very difficult. Like, I found minimal grip there, and I found I had so much, like, I wouldn't say grip, like maybe traction, I don't know, but it felt like there, here was really hard. I had to half throttle there because if I put on too much throttle, it would have just kicked out to the left and put me in the gravel. Yeah, but that, if you remember the race I did at Manning Valley, the rear end was a little bit disfigured, so it caused a little bit more hassle than what I was thinking of. But yeah, I struggled on this corner here, but in this practice session, like, I felt like I had everything on the corner, like traction, grip. It was all working for me. But I was also trying out braking and throttle, so I'm a bit of a aggressive braker, so a late sharp aggressive braker, and then I don't have to, like, I do a little bit of a throttle delay, so I let it cruise a little bit, and then I'm a bit too sharp on the throttle, but I snap the throttle on. So I was testing that out as well, testing a different way, testing an earlier brake, a softer earlier brake for a little bit longer, then cruising mid-corner and slowly applying the throttle. And I mean, it settled the kart down more, but it felt like I was wasting time. So I feel like that could be the way to go, but I just need to tighten it up a little bit. So obviously still brake later, try not to brake as sharp to upset the kart. Like, it's a lot of technicality to it. Like, there's so much to it. But yeah, I was testing that out a little bit and whatnot. But I won't have another video up for another week or so, but the next video is literally going to be a race video for Heat 1 of Manning Valley. So yeah, definitely stay tuned. Cheers everyone for watching the videos, and yeah, definitely share, subscribe, and yeah, peace.